Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're talking Palantir stock, ticker symbol PLTR. As a disclaimer, this is not investment advice. This is just a research video that I put together meant to be educational as well as entertaining. We're going to take a look at a few different news clippings and articles surrounding the company as of recently, and then we're going to take a look at the stock. So this company has a lot of things going for it, in my opinion. It recently IPO'd, but it's been around for a while. So please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Please enjoy.
Co-founded by Peter Thiel back in 2003, its mission, providing software that customers use to integrate volumes of data from images to spreadsheets into a central platform where it can then be securely analyzed and interpreted.
News of Palantir's plans to go public, as well as its recent announcement that it will be relocating its headquarters from Palo Alto to Denver, has put the secretive software company in the spotlight. Best known for its work with U.S. government agencies like the CIA, the Department of Defense, and most controversially, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the company was founded following 9/11 with the goal of defending American interests.
The core mission of our company always was to make the West, especially America, the strongest in the world for the sake of global peace and prosperity.
But in recent years, Palantir has also courted customers like Airbus, Chrysler, and BP. Commercial customers now make up about 50% of the company's revenue, a number that's trended upwards over the past decade. And even though Palantir has never turned a profit, revenue has been growing as losses have narrowed.
Perfectly normal for a software company to show that sort of trajectory going into their IPO. The question is, does the economic model over time look like one that will eventually produce profits? And you can certainly get there.
But while longtime investors are eager for the company to go public, for others, confusion remains about what it is exactly that Palantir does, and why their work with law enforcement agencies has raised eyebrows. The name Palantir comes from The Lord of the Rings. In the fantasy series, Palantiri are spherical stones that help powerful users see what is going on in other parts of Middle-earth and communicate with each other. Founded in 2003 by billionaire Peter Thiel alongside current CEO Alex Karp, Joe Lonsdale, Stephen Cohen, and Nathan Gettings, Palantir's tech helps detect unusual or suspicious patterns in large datasets, using techniques that the founders learned working together at PayPal. The CIA was one of the company's earliest investors, and its only customer for a number of years. Eventually, other intelligence agencies like the FBI and the NSA jumped aboard, using the company's customized data analytics capabilities to track and capture terrorists, insurgents, and drug smugglers.
They cite Afghanistan and Iraq as two examples of places where soldiers were mapping networks of insurgents and makers of roadside bombs by hand. So they actually were bringing in technology to do things that intelligence agents on the ground were having to do manually in very dangerous places.
The company's software has been credited with helping to find and kill Osama bin Laden. And though this has never been confirmed, Palantir certainly has not disputed it. The techs also helped to uncover Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme and rooted out Chinese spyware installed on the Dalai Lama's computer.
We work hand in hand with most of the special operators in the Western world. We work hand in hand with most of the clandestine services. We're in over 40 countries.
Today, the company increasingly works with high-profile commercial customers too. Its first was JP Morgan Chase, which adopted the software in 2009 to monitor employees who might go rogue. However, the partnership ended in scandal when JP Morgan's special operations lead used it to spy on top executives. Others have continued to express interest, though. Fiat Chrysler now uses Palantir to identify potential faults in car parts. Airbus uses it to respond more quickly to manufacturing problems, accelerating the production of its A350 aircraft. And BP uses it to analyze drilling data, reportedly leading to a 10% increase in oil production in the North Sea.
This is a hefty piece of software that runs across an enterprise and is used for understanding everything that a company faces, whether it's their customers, their supply chains, downtime, geographies where there's growth, where their competitors are gaining share.
As revenue from the commercial sector has increased over the years, CEO Alex Karp has had to rethink his historical dismissal of salespeople.
We don't look like a classic enterprise software company. We have no salespeople. Almost everyone here is an engineer.
Not anymore. Karp's been building out a sales team, and in 2019, the company spent 61% of its revenue on sales and marketing. However, long-standing government contracts remain integral to the company's revenue as well as its reputation. And during the coronavirus crisis, Palantir has formed a number of new partnerships too, with the VA, the National Institutes of Health, and Britain's National Health Service, helping these agencies, as well as the CDC, to track the spread of the virus and allocate resources.
In order to make decisions right now, in order to know where the PPEs need to go, in order to know when and where you're going to reopen, you want all the analytical models, all the pieces of information all in one place. Palantir is really designed to thrive in a crisis.
Well, a crisis we have. The economy is slowly getting back on its feet, and with COVID-19 still around, I think that it's safe to say that this company has a lot going for it moving forward. So let's take a look at this article from Barron's. Palantir stocks 40% rally is an election week puzzle. We just had our president-elect announce, President Biden and Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. So earlier this week, the Financial Times reported that the UK has held discussions with Palantir about using the company's Foundry software to run a COVID-19 test and trace program, although no deal has been announced by either the company or the UK government. Last month, the Wall Street Journal reported that the company is working with the US government on a tool to help monitor the manufacturing and distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Very interesting. Let's take a look at this video clip from one of Palantir's clients, FERRARI.
As engineers, and in particular as Formula One engineers, we are inherently driven by data. That culture generally leads to us building up a labyrinth of data from disparate sources, and it's often really difficult to navigate.
Data integration, data modeling, and operations. Engineers want to take those insights and make real changes.
Originally, we envisaged using the platform to replace existing tools, to do repetitive analysis. Now we are tending to use the platform on the fly to test new hypotheses. It allows our engineers to focus on the ideas and possibilities that can really bring positive results.
For example, in a single Grand Prix, you have 2 hours of 2 cars with hundreds of real sensors and virtual sensors, and an average of 100 to 1,000 hertz per sensor. We take that raw sensor data and actually model it into a digital twin that maps the data to the real-world concepts engineers understand and think in intuitively, like vehicles, drivers, laps, speed, pressure. This modeling step is what makes it possible for engineers to ask and answer their hardest questions.
So in Formula One, the most precious commodity is time. You win the race by coming with the fastest technical solutions.
And what the platform allows them to do is to create that loop between their expertise and the final operations.
The real advantage of the Palantir platform is that we can quickly, with one single front end, analyze lots of different data from different sources.
SCUDERIA FERRARI has been an excellent partner to Palantir, and it's been honestly a privilege to have the best automotive engineers in the world test drive new features and functionality.
Well, that was pretty entertaining in my opinion. I think it's pretty cool how Ferrari uses Palantir's expertise. Let's take a look at the price now. Let's take a look at the chart. Palantir stock price target lifted on growth potential from Morgan Stanley. I'm going to drop you into my trading view. We're going to look at a trading window just shortly after the IPO where the price was around $10. It had a little dip and then it started to make a run. So I'm going to highlight some levels of support from the $9, $10 levels of support to where we are currently at in the mid to high 13s. I'm noticing some stair-stepping patterns of ascension, and I think that these levels of support are going to come into play in the near future. We see that earnings is just right around the corner for this company, and let's play out a few different scenarios. I'm going to make a level of resistance in the $14 range, and I think that if it can stay above the 14s, high 14s, then I think that that level of resistance could potentially become a new level of support. So let me put out the level of resistance. I think where it's like right here, like, that's where it was, in my opinion, in the high 13s and the low 14s. But I'm going to raise it just because I think whenever a Morgan Stanley or a big analyst, they put some price targets on there, I definitely see that the stock has potential to pop. And again, anything can happen with the stock. We know this, right? And all it takes is one or two analysts to really give their buy recommendation, and all of a sudden it just takes off. So I like to be prepared for something like that. And I think that if it can, let's just say it drops to that $12 level of support, then I think it's like a great buying opportunity. And then if it can surpass and pop through the high 14s, then that level of resistance again will become a level of support, and then you can treat it as a really good ascension stock, and I think that it will perform quite well in the future with all of their clients. I think that this type of company is meant for everything that's going on right now in our country, and I think that regardless if you like the big brother type of companies, they're going to be around. So let's keep an eye on their earnings date and just plan accordingly. All right, well, I'm going to leave it here. I want to thank you for your time. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I really do appreciate it, y'all. If there's another company, IPO, or an ETF that you'd like to see me research, just drop it in the comment section below. I will do my best to get to it as soon as possible. I hope everyone is taking care, staying safe out there. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Please have a great week, and I will see y'all on the next video. Take care.